Okay, tonight we are making Mongolian beef over shirataki rice. And so we got all the ingredients here. We've got, this is a little over a pound of skirt steak. And I've already put some xanthan gum over top of that, about a half a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon.
Yeah. And the reason why I use xanthan gum is because you would normally in a Mongolian beef recipe use cornstarch, but you can't use cornstarch if you're doing keto because it's high in carbs. So we're using xanthan gum. I have no idea. I'm modifying a recipe, a non-keto recipe to keto, and I have no idea if this is going to do the same thing, but it's supposed to create this what's called velveting, which is how they get the meat, like on Mongolian beef, how it's like crispy, and tender. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to mimic the same thing using cornstarch, but we're using xanthan gum. I have no idea if it's going to work out. We may have totally ruined this dish.
There's no way. It will be delicious no matter what.
So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the wok because we've got everything else here that we need. Get it up, maybe about 6 or 7. This will heat up pretty quickly. We're going to use avocado oil for this. And I'm going to go ahead and put in about a tablespoon worth. And I've also got here some green onions. We use green onions instead of regular white onions because they're less carbs. And I like scallions. We've got some Swerve brown sugar. This right here, along with the soy sauce, ginger, garlic, whatever that is, crushed red pepper. That's gonna make our sauce.
The garlic and rice are over here. And the rice, it's actually 2 bags of this well lean, which has 0 carbs in it, despite that 2 carb showing there. If you subtract the fiber and just the fiber, subtract the fiber. So this whole bag has 10 calories in it. The whole bag has 10 calories and 0 carbs. So we were initially going to put 1 bag in, but it didn't seem like quite enough. So we've got this much rice here, which is a total of 20 ounces.
And 4 cloves of garlic. And you want to make sure you don't burn the garlic, so I have it turned down to about 4 now. And I'm going to add some ginger, and we don't keep fresh ginger around the house, but you can get this at Trader Joe's. And so 1 cube equals 1 teaspoon. Okay, we're going to add in a half a cup of soy sauce. Top this off a little bit. And a 1/4 of a cup of water. Some crushed red pepper flakes. That's probably about a teaspoon worth right there. And then a half a cup of Swerve brown sugar. So this is 1/4 cup. I need 2 of these. And now I'm just going to turn this up and let this cook for 3 to 5 minutes.
Quick tip about this rice. The directions tell you to drain it and then rinse it well under running water. Don't use a regular colander to do that. Use a fine mesh strainer because you will not lose nearly as much rice down the drain if you use one of these guys. It works really well.
So once you've cooked it for 3 to 5 minutes, it should be slightly thick or thicker. It's still gonna be a little runny. Go ahead and turn off your heat and just pour this into a bowl and set it aside. Once you pour it out, just make sure you wipe all that stuff out before you start doing the frying of the meat. Okay, now we're gonna add another tablespoon of, that's a little more than a tablespoon, of avocado oil. You can see the pan is already pretty hot. And we're gonna fry up this meat that we've sliced against the grain into about 1/8 of an inch slices, very thin. We put the xanthan gum over top of it, and now we will know if we made a terrible error or not. I'm gonna do half at a time. This last batch of meat is cooking up. We're gonna go ahead and put the shirataki rice in a pan on high and just let some of this additional water evaporate off of it so it has a little bit more firm rice texture to it. And as you can see, the less you mess with it, like the first batch I kind of messed with it too much, but this one I just left alone, and you can see the meat is a lot more brown. You don't want to cook this for very long, maybe 3 minutes at the most, depending on how thick you made it. Okay, this is the last batch of meat, and you can see that it's not quite, well, some of the pieces are still a little red, and that's okay, because it's going to cook a little bit more in the juices. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this wok back on probably like 3, not very 5. I'm going to add this sauce back in, and the nice thing is all these little brown bits are going to help give it lots of flavor. So I'll put this in here. So when you put this back in, make sure you actually take the time to scrape up this good stuff, because it really is going to give it a lot of added flavor. So, you know, just take the time to get as much of as you can. And now we're going to add this beef back in there. And we're going to add these green onions as well. Mongolian beef usually has a lot of onions in it, and we like onions. If you don't like onions, I suppose you could leave it out, but that's part of what makes it really good.
Yeah, that's what you want in there.
And again, we're just going to let it sit here in about, you know, medium-low heat for 2 or 3 minutes, enough to get a little bit of moisture in those onions and make sure this is nice and thick, which it looks like it's thickening up really, really nice.
Okay, this is it. Looks fantastic, smells fantastic. Let's eat.